Yeah, my name is Stephen Chandiwana, and I'm the Black Granite. I'm a two-time British champion. I came from Zimbabwe, of course. Like I say, I was 12 years old, and I became a bodybuilder, and since then I become a two-time British champion. It was a sequence of events. It was something, of course, when I started, it was more of, I was doing a lot of running, and of course I was working in Boots, the chemist, and I got a job in GNC, which was like a Holland and Barrett's, and from there on I started watching videos of Ronnie Coleman. And Ronnie Coleman was like my inspiration. I used to look at the videos thinking like, oh wow, you know, Ronnie Coleman competing, and I was thinking like, man, I wanna be like that, you know. I wanna be on stage one day. I even changed my name to Ronnie, and people for years, you're talking about 10 years, people used to call me Ronnie, and I kind of forgot my name, you know, in a sense. So that's how it kind of started, you know, and Ronnie was my inspiration back then. You know, a lot of people always come up sometimes with excuses, and we live in a society now. Everybody wants a shortcut or wants to get somewhere very quickly. But for me, I'll give you an example of this story. In 2014, I was preparing for a show, and I was like a day out before the show, and that night I had internal bleeding at home in my stomach. I got taken to hospital, which was in Basildon, you know, and at that moment I was so in pain, I completely forgotten about the show. Of course I knew I was one day out, but once you go to hospital, I got some painkillers, they put me on the drip, and at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I get discharged, and of course I'm pain free, but the doctors are saying you need to go home and rest, and I'm like, listen, you need to get these wires off me. I'm competing today, and they're looking at me. They're like thinking this guy is crazy, and of course they took off the wires off my hands, which had obviously the drip with painkillers and stuff like that. And there we go. I went to the show, and I won the show. But my point here is, like, you know, I could have really had a legitimate excuse not to go to the show, because I had internal bleeding and I was in hospital, you know, till the early hours of the morning of the show. But I was determined that no matter what, I wanted to do the show, and of course I did the show, and I came first. I would say there's a lot of things, you know, different aspects, you know, I could talk about in terms of like I wish I knew earlier. Of course, I started training in 2002, and I would say for the good part of 6 years, my nutrition wasn't probably perfect. My training was okay, but it wasn't structured neither. So my advice is like, I think if I could have known a little bit more into nutrition and training structurally, it would have been much better, that's for sure. In upcoming bodybuilders, or in anything they want to do in life, is whatever you do, give 120. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. So you know, for me, when I'm training, I love, it's my passion, bodybuilding, so I give 120. But not necessarily it has to be bodybuilding. Whatever you do in life, 120. British Championships. When I won the British Championships, it was my third year of competing, and I remember my lineup had about 26 guys, and they had about 6 former British Championships in the lineup, and that was the best achievement. That was 2015, my first ever British Championship win, when I got this baby right here. This, you know, that was my first British Championships win, and it was emotional, I have to say. Yeah. I train six times a week. I train in Muscleworks Orpington. I also train in Rip Gym in Basildon. Legs is my favorite muscle group, and there's no any other body part which kind of like takes me to a different level in terms of like the pain, in terms of like the enduring the pain, of course, like I say, but it takes everything out of you. And for me, I'm all or nothing, so I leave everything. So when I do legs, I know it's on. It's like we're going to war. The secret is consistent. There's actually really no secret. You know, the secret is consistency and hard work. And for me, you have to work hard, and you always get repaid for that. So hard work. I would say I love every exercise, that's for sure, because I'm a bodybuilder. We have to be complete, and I love every exercise. There isn't really anything I kind of like find is hard. This is where it's at. Anything I find hard, this is where it's at. Favorite exercise, okay, maybe squatting, that's for sure. Well, I'm not in the gym. I like, of course, I like spending time with my family. I like playing a bit of golf and things like that, you know. So that's about. Yeah, Extreme Nutrition, of course, is my business, and we started that in 2009. And of course, it supported everything to be where I am. And of course, we continue to work. We prep guys for competitions. We prep generally people for getting in shape and things like that. So Extreme Nutrition, that's where it's at. That's the best. That's the headquarters. That's where all the magic happens.
Okay.
Wow, like I say, you know, I love a beef burger, that's for sure, and chips. My long-term goal, of course, is like to be able to help others, of course, achieve their goals. But personally, as an individual, the legacy will be whatever you do in life. You know, I think I said this earlier in the interview, give 120%. And I hope everybody, whatever they're trying to achieve in life, you know, that's the goal. So for me, is you have to have the passion, you have to have the consistency, and whatever you do, 120, sorry. I'm Steven, and I've told you about my journey. So remember to hashtag MyJourney wherever you are in the belt, in the gym, and let's get the gains. Gainers Club.